Well, hello, guys. You're listening to Beauty Bites with Dr. K, Secrets of a Plastic Surgeon. And I am so excited for this podcast. We are actually going to learn a lot about hair extensions, hair toppers. Today, we're interviewing Jess Hallock. She's a stylist and educator and entrepreneur. And she's been in the hair and beauty business for a long time. In 2018, she launched a 6,000 square foot space that's in Gilbert, Arizona. It has her salon, her education center. She does halo hair, so they have a fulfillment team there. And her whole hair extension brand is called Ensemble Hair. We met her at a meeting this year, and I just thought she did such a great job educating women who are having thinning and hair loss. So she sold over 15,000 hair extension pieces across 15 countries. And I think she can give us so much info and knowledge about what to do with our thinning hair. Welcome to the podcast, Jess. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, so tell me a little bit about how you got into hair in the first place.
I just love having an impact on how women see themselves. So I started just behind the chair and I entered the industry because I honestly loved the all the business opportunities. But then I fell in love with interfacing with clients. And so I did hair for a while, and then discovered extensions and realized how much more was available for that. And I don't know, I could never get out of it. It's a special, I'm sure you know, a special experience to be in the service industry and be able to like touch people and make a difference in their appearance and just how they feel about themselves.
I think that's amazing. I get so many questions about hair thinning and hair fall. Hair has actually become one of my passions this year to learn and talk about more about hair aging and what happens. I think it's epidemic. Do you think hair loss and thinning is worsening with, I don't know, additives, preservatives, chemicals, toxins?
Everything. I feel like it was such a small fraction of people that it was just postpartum or maybe postmenopause. And now it applies to literally everyone. I have women in their young 20s who are experiencing some form of alopecia or some flare up with an autoimmune that's causing hair loss. So it's commonplace now to be talking about hair extensions.
It really is. And then to some extent, like if you don't get hair extensions done carefully, it can exacerbate the hair loss and make a thinning situation into a permanent hair problem.
Yeah, tension alopecia or traction alopecia is a common problem, and it doesn't have to happen, but over time, if you never take them out, or just a poor install, then it's inevitable.
I think a lot of women reach that point where they're presented with the make a decision. Do I start doing hair extensions? Lots of my patients ask me about extensions. So what should women know about that decision, like choosing extensions, and like when to do it?
I think there's always a place for you to start, especially nowadays. There's so many options, and you don't have to go, the full shebang right off the bat. But that's what I love about what we do is that we have that one-on-one conversation with clients because everyone's starting from a different place. And some people just want them for fun. Some people are experiencing some form of thinning and just want help navigating where to start. And some people have been in it for a long time and they're just looking for what's the best option. So I would say find someone that you trust, and just know that if the first option you look at doesn't feel like it's right for you, that there's lots of options out there and to keep looking. And the biggest thing is you want something that's not damaging and ideally customized for you. So keep looking. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, there really is. I think a lot of women who have thinning hair don't realize that their friends and girlfriends who have great hair have extensions. Because
Yes.
I myself did not realize that. I just like living with who I am. And then I go and look at my patient's hair and I look closely and I'm like, wait a minute, you have extensions everywhere. Like they're so artfully done sometimes you can't even tell. And I would say 50% of my celebrity clients, maybe 80%, maybe 80% of the people I met at the Vanity Fair Oscar party had extensions and like all kinds of hair accessories going on.
I don't doubt it. I always tell people when you're looking for inspiration on the internet of like what's normal or hairstyles you like, just assume that there's extensions in their hair because really, unless I don't know, you're 18, your hair is not that thick and long. It's unlikely. Most of the time, it's extensions. So yeah.
Well, how do you teach and educate clients on how to maintain healthy hair?
Teaching them how to understand what the problem is where I start because most people reach for products and can make a lot of their problems worse just by trying too many different things when really the beginning is always going to start with the inside. I feel like we've had a lot of hair loss and change in hair texture, making your hair more brittle with something that's going on the inside, and it's just manifesting on the outside. We used to really only see that with extreme, like a surgery or postpartum, where someone's texture it would be soft and then go really dry or get really brittle. But nowadays, if there's any inflammation in your body, that's usually what's happening. So I say start with your looking at the gaps in your diet and then reducing inflammation. Just assume that you're inflamed in some way, shape, or form with our food and environmental triggers and address that. And you'll see your hair start to follow. And then give your hair a break. Like anywhere that you can not do as much heat, not do as much color, it goes a long way. So before you reach for products, I like to educate people to go to the basics and see what differences that makes overall before they start, nitpicking the little things.
Yeah. Are you a fan of supplements for hair loss? There's so many on the market now. Are there any that you see working really well?
I don't love, honestly, hair specific supplements. I feel like they're so concentrated in a specific vitamin that even too much of something can be not great for someone. And so the only one that I've seen probably consistent results from is Nutrafol, but across the board, I tell people to take like a fish oil, make sure you're getting that vitamin D, get your greens in, get enough protein intake. I've seen switching from a folate to a methylfolate make a difference. Just addressing inflammation and lowering stress in your body, that's what I prefer over grabbing a hair gummy that has an extremely high amount of biotin. I know your body's supposed to flush it, but in my experience, it does store in your hair to
Mm.
some degree. I've felt a buildup in the ends. I mean, I think there's a reason that they can take your hair strand and test it, to get some form of medical history. And so I think it does store in your ends somehow. That I prefer to go those routes of those vitamins that you're probably just lacking, rather than focusing on one specific area and hoping that it works, because it does make your hair go, but there can be some consequences. So I prefer the other route.
And then any particular shampoos or conditioners that you think have been super successful with improving the hair follicle or scalp health?
Scalp health, I would say clarify. Most people are using some shampoo conditioner that might not be the cleanest. So clarifying your hair and your scalp regularly, like once a week, isn't a bad thing, especially if it's a gentle clarifier. I've used the Unite brand Weekender for a long time. It is, I wouldn't say it's mostly natural, but it's gentle for sure. I can put it on my blonde ends and it's not going to make it feel more brittle. But that's gone a long way for hair growth. I know that if you're feeling your hair more brittle, a lot of people don't know the difference between needing protein or needing hydration. And if your cuticle is feeling really brittle, or on the opposite end, if it's really stretchy, we call it a strand test, then you're lacking in one of those areas. So if you do, one test you can do at home is a strand test. You just take a strand of hair and you soak it in water and then you pull on it. And if it breaks really easy, you need moisture. And if it stretches at all, then you need protein. But a lot of the products out there are protein dense. They have biotin, keratin. And again, you can oversaturate your hair with those things much quicker than a moisture product. So if you do need protein, I love the Unite. It's Reunite mask, because it has aminos as the protein source rather than keratin. But if you need hydration, then just stick to oil based, as clean as you can. But I love applying oil at night to hair. Your hair will soak it up
Mhm.
overnight. It doesn't get on your pillow. And that really makes a difference, especially if you have a wavier, curly texture, just to help strengthen your hair when you heat style it.
I love that. And do you use this particular oil? You recommend olive oil, coconut oil? I love coconut oil. Um,
It It depends on the density. So if you have a texture that can handle coconut oil, I do think that's good. Otherwise, just an argan oil, just something clean from one of the top brands that start in the salon. That's usually a lighter weight. But if it's not water soluble to some degree, then it's probably too heavy for your hair. So make sure that you can break it down quickly enough with soap and water, and that's a good judge of whether your hair can handle it. But don't put it on your roots. You don't need that. Just mid-strand to ends.
love it. And then any other hair topicals that you can apply or treat your scalp with? Are you a fan of some of these Instagram, TikTok trends, like going to get your like scalp treatments done at the scalp spa?
I would love that, honestly. I think anything to give this area a lot more attention is a good thing. It's definitely a place we neglect. We don't put, sunscreen up there. We don't cleanse, clarify. We don't do all the things, and we need to because it's skin just like our face. So I would love to go get one of those treatments done. We don't have a lot in Arizona, um, but I need to get one. So I highly recommend. And I think it's what's that trick?
Trichology,
Yes,
hair
fascinating.
trichology place. Yeah.
Those people know exactly what they're doing. So I think if you're struggling with hair loss, or you feel like your pores are congested on your scalp, definitely go into one of those places.
Okay, when you come to LA, I'm going to do some hair trichology on you. We
Yes.
have hair metrics that artificial intelligence imaging system that counts the follicles, like I said, hair
Wow,
thickness, density, interfollicular distance, everything.
that's
It's,
amazing.
yeah, it's fascinating what the technologies can do right now. Tell us about hair toppers. What is a hair topper and why do we need one in our lives?
So hair toppers, I think people think of wigs more
Mhm.
than they think of what a hair topper would be. So a wig is going to cover all of your hair, whereas a topper is still going to work with your hair. So depending on the type of hair loss you have, or just the look that you're going for, keep that in mind. But there's a wide variety in toppers nowadays. It used to be just a couple of options, and they kind of looked wiggy that people were deterred from them. But now they have hand-tied stitching, they have machine sewn. They have different densities, different lengths. So our specialty is that we customize them through cut and color, which really makes a massive difference. If it's going to be on top of your head, I can't imagine not having a customized piece. It's way less forgiving than something mixed in with your hair. But toppers, you want to look at what cap size that you need. So how much coverage, and then what you're trying to achieve. So if you're thinning, on your hairline and you just want to fill in that front area, then you probably need a very small piece for that. If you have some thinning on the back of your head or even the top center, then we have a bigger cap. And then comfort. So depending on your density, what your day to day looks like, then I might steer you on a different type of cap style. But there's lots of options out there. So if you're experiencing thinning, know that there's not a stigma around it anymore. You don't have to feel uncomfortable in a topper. A lot of people are wearing them. They just wear them well. And I always say that you know it more than, the next person seeing you. It looks totally normal. So don't be afraid of it. Give them a
Hmm.
try.
I think what are people worried about? Probably that they can't match the color correctly or that it's going to look like it's not connecting with the other hair strands.
Yeah, I'd say that's the first initial concern. If you're buying a piece just online and kind of hoping it works, I would definitely check with your stylist and make sure they're on board to customize it with you. Or that's what we do at Ensembles. We customize it for you. And sometimes it takes one or two revisions just to make sure it's perfect. So having that kind of support kind of helps you navigate that area a lot better. But hiding it is a lot of people's concern. What it looks like from the front, making sure it tucks in really snug, or there's enough layering in the front that it doesn't look heavy. There's a lot of factors, and sometimes you don't know what to ask for because it's your first time. So asking enough questions about customizing. Really, if you're not coming to Ensemble, then that's the questions you need to be asking is can you cut this for me? Can you color it for me? And do I have support afterwards of, how to wear it, how to style it? It's intimidating.
Wow, what a great resource for women in Arizona. Like you go in, get your hair cut, colored, and styled, and then you get your ensemble piece put on top for the thinning areas. That's like amazing.
Yeah. We do 90% of our business online though. So we do it all through virtual consults. So you just send me pictures and we consult that way. And then we customize them in my salon from your photos and videos and then ship them to you.
Wow, that's genius.
Yeah.
Would you say hair toppers are a good solution to not wanting to dye your hair anymore? Because I sometimes feel like that dyeing process, of course, it damages the follicle, and then there's very little stem cells for regenerating growth of new hair, and you're just sapping them with these intense chemicals. Like I'm at that stage where I'm like, I don't want to keep doing that to my hair because I know it's knocking out the regrowth potential of stem cells there.
And it's hard when you have dark hair because as soon as any gray comes in, then you're rushing into the salon every 3, 4 weeks. So anything to
Yeah.
prolong that, I'm on board with. So yeah, people get a topper just to be able to go longer in between appointments. I'd say
Yeah.
as long as the ends of your hair still have some color on them, then you're, you know, if you really wanted to let it go, then a topper can look however you want it to look within reason. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's a great solution to go longer.
love that idea. Or give yourself a summer off. Like how often do
Exactly.
people give their roots a break from getting intense dye colors and peroxide and stuff?
Not enough. And summertime's a great time because the sun's already really harsh and your color is probably going to fade quickly and you probably don't care in the summer. So yeah,
Yeah, you're
try them
doing
out.
it with your family and they already love you. Just let your hair go.
Yep, exactly.
Love it. We'll talk a little bit about how you are a busy mom of three and a CEO. What do you do to like balance your life and keep everything in check? Like, how do you clone yourself?
Well, I wish I could clone myself. I think I've just accepted that it's a lifestyle. When you become a CEO, the hardest restriction is to think that you're going to have a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So when I'm able to just stop what I'm doing, go take the kids where they need to go. They've been really involved, honestly. My husband's an entrepreneur as well, and at this point, they probably think it's just normal that we're recording content, that we're going down to the warehouse, that we're going to the salon, and so just
Mhm.
involving them. I think it's a good thing for them to see, and it's definitely easier on me. But unplugging every once in a while is really important. So it's balance if there is any, but just don't be so hard on yourself, especially as a mom. It's really tough.
Yeah, cut yourself some slack.
Yeah,
The kids are very resilient. They bounce back. They keep themselves busy,
exactly.
honestly. I,
Exactly.
I really think that's important for moms to understand that. Well, tell me a little bit about what you have in store for your brand coming up. Are you evolving or coming up with any new launches or strategies for the fall?
Well, we're really focusing on toppers actually. So when I first launched Ensemble, it was primarily just halos and things that go underneath your hair or ponytails. And the topper industry has just exploded. And I think industry wide, that's what you're going to see is people expanding their solutions for hair thinning. So some people don't want to have a topper right on top of their head, but they need something similar. So we're going to be launching something that will go right underneath the hair that just needs a veil, which is nice if you have focused thinning. And then we really want to have a medium sized topper. So we have 3 topper sizes, and there is a gap right in the middle that I think a lot of people would really like. So right now, I refer, if I can't find a solution for you within Ensemble, I do refer other brands that I know will fit you perfectly. And again, that's just another benefit with a consult. But we're working on making a smaller topper because some people just want a baby step into this world and not ready to fully commit to a, you know, a full thing.
Well, that makes sense. When is a halo more appropriate than a topper?
Honestly, a halo is more applicable, I'd say 80% of the time. It's because we have
And
different.
can you describe what's a halo for people who are not familiar
Yes.
with the lingo? Well,
So I'm wearing one, but I grabbed one so that I could show you.
your hair
So a
looks great.
halo, thank you. I've been working really hard on it. It was a train wreck before. So it has a wire like
Mhm.
this, and it
Mhm.
goes underneath your hair. So there's no clips on it, so it's not going to cause any stress on your hair, but it hides underneath your hair. A lot of people, when they think of a halo, they think it's going to be really thick and long like this, but you should know that we have different density options that are really lightweight, and we can do them really short. So a lot of people, if they just want to try extensions, don't want to worry about, like, let's say they're not that great at styling their hair, I'd push them to a halo because it'll give them a lot of fullness from like just above the ears and down to their ends. And we can taper it so that it's not bulking on the ends. We always color them so they hide really well. Um, but it's a good beginner piece. So it's just going to go underneath your hair, and your hair sits on top of it, and it is very secure. It's adjustable, but there's no clip, so you're not going to cause any more damage. But most people start with that and or do that and a topper.
Nice. Okay, I gotta watch a demo video of how you put that on.
I have lots of videos. Yes.
Okay, let's do some rapid fire questions. And here we go. What's
Okay.
your most underrated hair tip?
Oh, um, that keratin and biotin are not the answer to hair health usually. That most people, if they can start with the inflammation, like I said, that's where everybody needs to start. That is the long-term game to fix your hair health, to fix any of your skin health, everything comes from what you're doing on the inside, lowering your stress, lowering inflammation. So I think that's the most underrated thing in my industry because we're such a product focused industry that that gets overlooked, and really that's going to make the biggest difference.
That's true. There are cortisol receptors on the hair follicle. That means stress
I
really,
didn't know that.
really affects you. Yes. Your go-to product for instant hair confidence.
Hmm. I'd say everyone can love, like, feels more confident with shine. So I'd reach for oil, even if you have thin hair and think that oil is going to weigh your hair down. It gives you shine and it protects your hair from heat and just the elements. So grab an oil that works well with your hair and then grab a texture spray over hairspray. Hairspray can be heavy on a lot of people and it's
Mhm.
sticky and it's in my opinion makes your hair a little bit more brittle because it has to dry out the hair to work. So I
Mhm.
like texture spray. It usually has a little bit of powder in it, a little bit of grit, and it goes a long way if you have really fine hair and if you have thicker hair. It's just my favorite product.
Love it. Okay. Dry shampoo, good or bad?
My personal opinion, it's not my favorite.
Same.
I I think that you can train your scalp, and that's another thing with our industry is it's not a one size fits all, and it's hard when you're getting inspiration from educators of what to do. That remember that not everyone's hair is different, and that doesn't mean that it's not right or my hair, I don't know, there's not a norm. Find what works with your skin because just like you have combination skin or you have, over oily, you know how your face skin works. Your scalp's the same way. You got to give it that same grace period to try out what what regimen of washing and what type of products work well. And then you won't need dry shampoo. That's just an indicator that it's getting to be the time to wash it. And that's okay.
Hmm. I love that. It's much more healthy to just wash your hair.
Yeah. Crazy.
What's one thing that changed your business forever?
Definitely content creating. I wouldn't have built my business to what it is without being a content creator. But it's always home based for me when I feel like business needs to grow or it's stagnant or things need to change. Is going back to education and content. I feel like I'm an educator at heart, and a business will grow much quicker if you can educate.
Mm,
So, content creation and focused on customers' needs rather than entertainment has gone a long way.
amazing. What's your creative ritual and how do you stay inspired?
This can probably sound backwards, but I start with my numbers. I'm very dialed into my number, whether it's your statistics on your social media or the numbers in your business. If I'm feeling not creative, I'll just look at what's working, even
Mm,
if it's not blowing it out of the water. There's some trend somewhere, and that will often generate some creative thought. That's definitely how toppers came to a focus in my business. Is I was looking at we tried different videos, and that style was popping off more than others, and so I'm like, well, that's where the need is. I'm not totally comfortable with it, but I did a lot of research, got more comfortable, and then it's been the flagship product this year. So if you're
mm,
feeling stuck creatively, look at your numbers and see what's working and maybe what to take a break on if it's not working. And sometimes that's freeing if you're like, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with this, you know, content I like to make, but it's not going anywhere. Go back to your numbers.
that's really good advice. What's a mantra or quote that you live by?
Live by grace, not perfection.
That's a good one. I need to memorize that. I need to
It's
implement that right here.
yeah, we're too hard on ourselves.
That's so true. What legacy do you hope to leave for your daughters, clients, women that you're helping?
I want people to remember that kindness first. Even if I have a customer service issue or something, I always put myself in the client's shoes first, and just knowing that, like, at the end of the day, we all want to feel confident and beautiful, whether it's something we bought or something that we're doing or how we communicate or whatever. And just if you can be met with kindness when you're struggling, then rather than, someone being right or prideful or something, it goes a lot longer. So I just want everyone to remember that that's how I approached everything, whether it was building my business or having to make a hard decision or, having to be away from my family for the sake of, doing other things that I, that's my why. I'm I want that to be the center.
That's a beautiful thought. But what does beautiful mean to you right now beyond what we see in the mirror?
Confidence, work on yourself on the inside. It goes a long way. I think
Mm,
being in an industry where vanity is at the forefront, I know you can relate to that. It's
mhm.
still amazes me how much people are looking for connection and just being understood and being listened to. So I think that was the hardest part for me to let go of when I wasn't behind the chair and doing hair anymore, is I didn't want to miss that connection. And so I think if you try to ignore everything on the outside, you'll be so much happier in the long run and feel more beautiful on the outside when you feel good about what you've been working on the inside.
That's so true. Beauty, external beauty is temporary, right? It's like the
Yeah.
inner beauty that lasts. So I try to teach my kids the same thing. Well, it's been such a pleasure learning more about hair toppers. I feel like I should take a picture of my hair where I feel it's sitting and send it to you and see what comes back to me in the mail. And
I'm totally down.
because I like that idea of not having to dye my hair so repeatedly, like maybe for the summer, and because I go to a lot of meetings, I'm like, ah, gotta look all, gussied
Yeah,
up. But sometimes you just gotta let the hair follicles rest. So interesting
it goes
concept.
a long way in the big picture if you can just leave your hair alone.
Honestly. Well, you built an empire. You should be so proud of all your achievements, and it looks like you guys are growing. And it's honestly, you're so genuine. It just comes across that you're educating and providing this great service. So
Thank
congratulations.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where can people find you just to keep in touch?
Follow me on any of the platforms at jess.hallock. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. And then my brand Ensemble Hair is also on the same platforms. And we put a lot of content out there, not just about hair extensions, but about hair health and just, being a woman in this world. So find us there and you won't be bored.
I love that. That's Jess.Hallock. It's Hallock. And I hope you guys will check her out. We hope to see you at a future conference or meeting soon. And if you're ever in LA, you better come visit too.
Oh, I will. I will. Thank you.
Yeah, well, don't forget to find me, guys, on my Instagram. It's Beauty by Dr. K, DRKAY, and our website is the same. It's beautybydrk.com. That's where we are launching this summer a brand new skin longevity line with NAD boosters and mitochondrial ingredients to improve your skin longevity. So I'm definitely going to send you some. Yay. And that's it for now, guys. You can find us here every Tuesday for a longer podcast. On Fridays, we do a 5-minute Friday. Check out our Instagram and keep in touch. Come visit me if you're in LA. That's it for now, guys. Stay beautiful. Mwah.